All right, you guys, so these are my bell pepper transplants that I'll be planting in containers. These are also big enough to transplant into the garden, but it's still cold outside, so I'll be planting them in the solo cups that you see here. And when it's time to put them outside, they will go into a bigger container like this one. I might even have a few in 5-gallon containers. All right, so I have the first two done. So when transplanting your new peppers, you always want to make sure that you're planting your pepper all the way up to the first two seed leaves. Now the reason for this is when you're growing peppers or tomatoes, the main stem will always produce roots. All the little bumps that you see here are roots. So what you want to do is plant it all the way to the first two seed leaves. That way it will create a stronger rooting system for the plant, which will create a stronger, healthier plant. And it will also allow the pepper plant to anchor down better into the soil. Now that I have them thinned and transplanted, I'm going to take these outside, water them in, and let them soak up a little sunlight. Now within a week, I'll upload another clip and we'll talk about pruning. These are now at the 3rd and 4th sets of leaves. So what I'll do is let another set or two grow, and then I'll show you exactly how I like to prune my plants to grow into small bushes for my containers. Today is March 28th, and these are the peppers from the last clip that I transplanted. As you can see, they've gotten a little bigger. They've also started producing flowers. Now, if your pepper plants are producing flowers at this stage, what you want to do is simply break it off. If not, the bees are going to get to it. That baby plant is going to produce a pepper, and it's going to stop all growth vertically. Now, it has been cold for the past few days, and as you can see, it's causing my pepper plants to wilt. Pepper plants are tropical plants and they do not like to be cold. So what I'm going to do now is take these inside and show you how I like to top prune so that these peppers turn to small bushes that are 5 feet tall by the end of the summer with a heavy yield. It's already been pruned and it now has 4 different branches. There's one here, one right there beside it, there's another one here, and there's one here. And right here in the center is where I made my cut. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove the fan leaves that are in the way. Now you can throw these into your compost pile. You can even put them under the mulch, and the worms will come up if you have worms, and they will feed on them. Now if you take a look here where the fan leaves were cut, you will also notice new growth. So there will be another branch here, here, there will be one here, and there will be another over here. Now the ones that are at the very bottom, what I like to do is pinch those off and scrape it a little. That way it doesn't grow back. And there's another one here. These aren't going to get much sunlight once this plant gets to growing. Now that I have that out of the way, now another thing that I like to do is to simply remove flowers. Now if you're heavy-handed, you can wait until these open up, but if you leave them on there too long and the bees get to it, like I said earlier, it will become pollinated. Even if you don't have bees, the wind could pollinate the flowers of your pepper plants. So as these flowers open up that you see up top, I'll be removing them until my plants reach at least 15 to 18 inches in my raised beds. So now what I'm going to do is take you guys down to the main cage and show you a quick peep of my spring garden. So this is a sneak peek of the spring garden. What I'm doing today is harvesting my cabbage. Now there's still several plants that aren't quite finished, and they're going to have to bolt before I remove them. Now in the last update, I had mustard greens here. They've been harvested and replaced with marigolds. And the potatoes have started to come up also. There were also 3 cabbage plants here. And these were all marked early. So far I harvested 1 and replaced it with snap peas. Now these don't look like they're going to flower, so I'll let them keep growing. And over here, this is my lemon balm. And the potatoes here have also started to come up. Now these are all determinate potatoes in this bed. My russets are over here. We have carrots and collards here. This is a turnip green. Now this is one of the broccoli plants that I let flower. And it has started to grow as seed pods. So you want to let these grow until they form into bean pods. Let them grow all the way until they start to die off and turn brown. They'll look like little bean pods when you grow them. And once they swell up, you will see the shape of the seed inside of each pod. So what I'm going to end up doing is removing this cabbage plant, digging deep as I can all the way around where the onion is with my big shovel. I'm probably going to place it right here into my 20 gallon. And hopefully it doesn't cause it to go in shock. But we're going to find out, because I need half of this bed to plant more potatoes. Now these were all supposed to be done by this time of the year, but with the cold weather, it will slow down the growth of your crop. Now there's more turnips down here in the cinder blocks. These are now ready to harvest. They probably won't get much bigger than what you see, but they are now ready to harvest. So I'm going to give them 1 more week before pulling them. Now over here in the center, these are my carrots that I started from transplants. And this is an experiment. And I want to show you guys that they can come out straight, but there's a chance that most of them will be crooked. But at the end of the day, you'll have carrots. And right here, we have a tomato plant growing. Now there's more carrots over here in the corner. This is my oregano that has started to grow back. And more parsley. And right below it, these are wild strawberries. If you see these in your yard, don't eat them. I leave them out here for the birds. And here's my strawberry plants that were on the back porch. So I will be removing these this year because the birds eat every last one that grows. And right here, these are the snap beans. So right here, we have a little raised bed that I put together with just 6 cinder blocks. Now I'm not done with this side. All of those containers, we have bell peppers. I have marigolds here. Dwarf kale here. Now in the center, this is where I'll be planting the cucumbers that we got started earlier. I may even turn it into a full grow guide. So if you have a small yard, a simple setup like this, it's just enough space to grow your cucumbers. And it's about 2 feet by 15 inches. And right next to it, I have my marigolds. And this is a 20-gallon container. You can also use this container sitting in front of the trellis here and grow your vining plants. It doesn't have to be cucumbers. It could be pole beans. It could be those small sugar baby watermelons, cantaloupes, anything that's not too heavy for this small piece of wood here. You can also get a bigger piece of wood or even a metal pole to support the weight of whatever you're growing up that trellis. Now this bed right here, these are all indeterminate russets. These are my reds and yellows. And these are marigolds, along with an onion to try to deter as many pests as I possibly can. And there's more potatoes over here in the corner. Along with my sage, rosemary, onions, and blueberries. And my dummy plant has finally decided that it wants to flower. So I'll be collecting seeds here also. This plant right here lived a long time, so I definitely want the seeds. And over here, I have more turnips. Now these were transplanted, and they really didn't form a head. And sometimes that's the risk that you take when growing them from transplants. They should always be directly sown. And over here, I have more snap beans, or snap peas. And this variety is called Sugar Daddy. And these are all carrots. That's pretty much back here, y'all. So in the next video, you're going to see an explosion of growth all over this cage, and possibly a potato harvest.